A period of working experience. This is the best building we have ever constructed.
President Buhari inaugurates new Abuja International Terminal designed to process 15 million passengers per annum.
So I want to appeal to authorities to ensure that they get to the root of this matter.
Senate orders full investigation into the killing of former Chief of Defense Staff.
As a presidential candidate of Nigeria,
More political parties endorse the candidature of President Muhammadu Buhari. And Minister of Budget and National Planning gives a breakdown of the 2019 budget. Hello and a warm welcome to NTN Network News. I'm Joseph Johnson in Abuja. Also reading with me tonight is Hingunu John Adams in Lagos, and in Port Harcourt we have Vivian Ezedife. The first set of regular cadet officers of the Nigeria Police Academy, Kano, have been tasked to exhibit high sense of courage, bravery and determination in the fight against all forms of criminality towards achieving a better society. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari, who threw the challenge at the convocation and passing out parade of the cadets, insists that persons in conflict with the law must be diligently prosecuted, no matter how highly placed in the society. State House correspondent Adam Sambo reports.
It was a remarkably historic, epoch-making event as President Muhammadu Buhari inspects a colorful ceremonial parade of cadet officers at the Police Academy, Wudil Kano, as the first sitting Nigerian leader to do so. "602 of them are judged worthy in character, fitness and in learning after a 5-year training program passed out as assistant superintendents in the Nigeria Police. President Muhammadu Buhari, who congratulated the officers for achieving their dreams, said it is now their duty to combat crime and ensure peace and security in the country. He, however, said the only thing that can guarantee them a career they seek in the police force is integrity, professionalism, and resistance to all acts of criminality.
During the course of performing your duties, you will be confronted with a lot of challenges, much of it hostile. You may be faced with a situation where you are requested to bend the rules for either financial or material benefits. No matter what the promises are, you must not succumb to such pressures. Ensure that your actions are in line with extant rules and regulations, and make sure you can defend your actions at all times.
The president said with the recent increase in police salaries, they have no reason whatsoever to fall into temptations of financial or other inducements, warning that those who fail to heed the lawful instructions will certainly be caught in the web of the law.
Illegal detentions, extrajudicial killings, torture, and the violation of the fundamental rights of the people must be avoided at all times. The campaign for the 2019 elections have commenced, and that means heightened political activities in the country. You must do everything possible to make the election violence-free, to avoid ballot box snatching, multiple voting, vote buying on sites, attack on electoral offices, and other acts which might negatively impact on the elections and their outcome.
While commending the Nigeria Police for being part of the success story in the fight against Boko Haram, President Buhari likened recent attacks to attempts by the defeated insurgents to reorganize what he called their ragtag and scattered individuals, saying this will not be possible as plans have been finalized to completely wipe out the group. Minister of Interior Abdurrahman Dambazau expressed optimism that the Polak bill, now before the National Assembly, will soon be passed and signed into law towards repositioning the academy and ultimately achieving better policing in Nigeria.
The presence of Mr. President underpins his unparalleled commitment to the transformation of not only the police academy, but the entire Nigerian police and the security sector at large.
Let me assure His Excellency that the Nigerian police is committed to a secured Nigeria. There will be no hiding place for criminals.
Highlights of the ceremony was the presentation of the Sword of Honor to Shuaibu Aminu, the best all-round cadet from Kano State, by the President, who also presented an award to Evangeline Babuba as the best female cadet. 2 others representing all the graduates were symbolically commissioned as ASPs. The Nigeria Police Academy Wudil Kano was transformed into a degree-awarding institution in 2012 as part of efforts to generally reform the police and put it on a sound footing. From Kano, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
And President Muhammadu Buhari has restated a federal government's commitment towards developing Nigeria into regional air transportation hub, thereby assuming its place in Africa's aviation subsector. Inaugurating the new international terminal of the Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport, Abuja, the president also promised to support the actualization of critical projects that will place the nation's airports amongst the best in the world. Again, State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has more.
A world-class aviation transport facility, the new terminal building of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, is among the 4 such projects being executed by the China Exim Bank loan facility of $500 million, as well as a counterpart contribution of $100 million by the Nigerian government. Second to be inaugurated after Port Harcourt, the facility, designed to handle 15 million passengers annually with the best comfort, has among others 66 check-in counters, 5 baggage collection carousels, 44 immigration decks, 8 screening points, 8 passenger boarding bridges, as well as a 22-room hotel with spa. President Muhammadu Buhari said the inauguration of the project reflects his administration's deliberate policy towards sustaining the development of Nigeria's infrastructure, noting with pride that the governing APC is gradually closing the infrastructural deficit bedeviling the country.
With the commissioning of this terminal, Nigeria is moving towards achieving meeting global aviation standards in facilitation, passenger processing and service delivery in tandem with international best practices. Government officials manning these gateways are to sustain the momentum and ensure travelers in and out of the country have best of experience as a necessary complement to the ultra-modern terminal.
The president expressed appreciation to the Chinese government, China Exim Bank, and the Ministry of Transportation for their financial support and various roles played in the successful execution of the project.
This administration recognizes aviation as a catalyst for economic growth, and as such will continue to encourage and support the actualization of projects that will place Nigerian airports among the best in the world.
Deputy Senate Leader Bala Ibn Na'Allah, in a goodwill message, promised sustained support of the National Assembly towards actualizing the second runway project of the airport.
We will do whatever is humanly possible to assist and give maximum cooperation to the laudable objective of positioning this country to compete internationally as far as aviation is concerned.
As a complementation to this particular project, the road linking the airport to the Umar Yar'Adua Expressway is now also being rehabilitated.
We respect Nigeria, love Nigeria, and support Nigeria. China cannot develop itself in isolation from the world. and the world needs China for global prosperity.
Minister of State for Aviation, Hadi Sirika, was full of appreciation to President Muhammadu Buhari for what he called walking the talk, saying the nation's aviation sector never had it so good. The new international terminal of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport is situated on a 56,000 square meters of land with about 60 meters skywalk that connects the facility to the airport metro station. In Abuja, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the new terminal building of Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport is not only a beauty of architectural design, but of some amazing features comparable with any of the developed world. Emmanuel Yimero has details of the uniqueness.
The large-scale construction work started in 2014 on the 56,000 square meters. It was designed to be an aviation hub in Africa with a capacity to process 15 million passengers per annum. The new international terminal building is connected to Abuja Rail Mass Transit and Abuja Cardinal Railway, already providing comfort to passengers.
As you can see, it's state of the art, and of course the biggest terminal building in West Africa at the moment. By making provision, if there's an airline that has an A380, it can come to this facility, for example, and can be handled once the phase 2 come into place.
Here are other services to be enjoyed from the new terminal.
We are standing on the second level now. Below us is the arrival level, and the arrival level is for arriving passengers. The arriving passengers can also access the rail station and the taxi park and the general car park, so they can exit from that ground level. Below the arrival level, we have the service area. Everything is efficiently laid out so that passengers can move very fast.
In a period of working experience, this is the best building we have ever constructed.
Lagos and Kano Airport's new international terminal buildings are next on the line for inauguration after Abuja and Port Harcourt airports. Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
Fantastic view, isn't it? Now let's turn our attention to the legislature, because the Senate has urged the federal government to investigate the circumstances surrounding the death of former Chief of Defense Staff Alex Bade. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nko has details.
25 minutes after a closed-door session, Senator Binta Masi Garba drew the attention of the Senate to an urgent matter, and that was the killing of former Chief of Defense Staff Alex Bade, who died from gunshot wounds on Tuesday, 18th of December 2018.
And while one of his personal staff is still held hostage by the assailants.
So I want to appeal to authorities to ensure that they get to the root of this matter.
Those of his personal staff that are still being held, all efforts must be made to see that they are rescued.
They observed a minute silence in honor of the late Air Chief Marshal. The legislators have confirmed the nomination of 9 nominees as chairman and members of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, with Professor Bolaji Owasanoye as chairman. The executive is to send 3 remaining names to the Senate, 2 from the Northeast and 1 from the South-South. Justice Uwani Musa Abaji was also confirmed as Justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. The Prisons Act Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2018, sponsored by 3 senators, and the Federal Polytechnic Item Abia State Establishment Bill, sponsored by Senator Mao Ohuabunwa, were passed. And as the Senate ends its 2018 legislative activities, the Senate leader Ahmed Lawan and Minority Whip Philip Aduda reassured Nigerians of the commitment of the National Assembly towards the unity and oneness of Nigeria.
For the executive arm of government, represented here by Senator Itaina, we want to say that we would like to always cooperate, partner, coordinate,
and to ensure that we make those laws only that will promote the peace, unity of this nation. Very patriotic remarks. I'm sure this is exactly what Nigerians would like to hear from us each day.
Senate has adjourned to Tuesday, 16th of January 2019 for the Christmas and New Year holidays. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
The federal government has described as untrue a recent report by Amnesty International claiming that the federal government is not doing enough to contain the farmers-herders clashes in the country. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed, in a chat with newsmen in Abuja, advised Amnesty International to carry out proper investigations so as not to mislead the world. Anthony Forson reports.
Amnesty International is wrong, and very wrong too, to suggest that the government has done nothing to stem the killings.
Chronicling efforts by the federal government in containing insecurity across the country, the Information and Culture Minister described as untrue the Amnesty International's report on Nigeria with what the federal government has put in place to ensure safety of lives and property. Some of the efforts, the minister said, are as follows: deployment of a joint military intervention force, establishment of the Army's 2nd Battalion in Kamfanin-Doka village, Beningwari, Kaduna State, establishment of an area command and 2 divisional police headquarters, also in Beningwari. The Air Force Quick Response Wing in Benue, Nasarawa and Taraba states, the inauguration of a new mobile police squadron in Takum, Taraba State, Operation Wild Stroke in Benue, Nasarawa, Taraba and Zamfara states to tackle the menace of armed herdsmen, cattle rustlers, communal militia, kidnappers and bandits.
Amnesty has also accused the government of lethargy, saying that it has allowed impunity to flourish. Again, they got it wrong.
On this allegation equally, the minister explained that more than 900 people were arrested, 874 being prosecuted, while 68 have been convicted. This, he said, is far from what Amnesty International is alleging.
There's a video circulating which many of you must have seen. I've read the report and I've seen the video. Let me start first by saying that this administration will not condone any extrajudicial killing or violation of anybody's human rights. Having said this, we are studying the video, we are studying the report with a view to seeing to its authenticity, after which appropriate steps will be taken.
Lai Mohammed, however, called for caution, saying this well-choreographed campaign has the capacity to demoralize the gallant military who are currently making Nigeria proud. Responding to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar's claim, the minister simply said,
this amounts to politicization of a very serious issue, and I think it's very cheap politicking. If indeed it is true that he said so, I think it's nothing but an act of desperation on his part. Because as you can see, those who are following his campaign from Sokoto to Ilori to Ibadan to Gombe, the national campaign is floundering.
The minister also used the opportunity to dismiss reports that the federal government has clamped down on civil societies, saying it is the wild imagination of naysayers. Taking on the National Assembly over the 2019 budget presentation by President Muhammadu Buhari, he described their action as most unfortunate. He also commented on the electoral bill, saying the opposition should stop crying wolf when none exist. He rounded off by assuring Nigerians that President Muhammadu Buhari is committed to a free, fair and credible election, as he said he will not visit on his opponents what was visited him while in the opposition. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
This is NTN Network News. Still to come, political parties endorsed the candidature of President Muhammadu Buhari. These and others after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to NTN Network News with me, Joseph Johnson. Now, more than 160,000 farmers affected by flooding and another 70,000 farmers who are victims of conflicts would be compensated to enable them continue with their livelihood, courtesy of the federal government. President Muhammadu Buhari said these while being honored by beneficiaries of the Anchor Borrowers Initiative, which the farmers described as impactful and successful. State House correspondent Jidoni Fade reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari steps into the banquet hall of the State House with elegance, accompanied by equally proud lieutenants in the agricultural revolution. It's all about standing tall to be counted among the heroes of nation building. And with the projection that Nigerian population may double by year 2050, the focus of the administration is on now to have a sustainable program that would ensure food security. First is to cut down food importation and grow more of what the nation needs.
Mr. President, you ensure that Nigeria and Nigerians remain awake through a revolution.
You finally cut the chains around the wrists and the legs of farmers in this country.
The increased production of rice in the country has led to net savings of $800 million as a result of the drastic decline in rice importation.
The Anchor Borrowers Program, one of the initiatives of the federal government to expand the financial base of local farmers, is here being described as one of the best things to have happened to the nation's farmers.
All these important things that have happened to the state, the smallholder farmer, is all from your commitment and your policy, your passion.
Today, there is no subsidy in fertilizer. So cumulatively in 2 years, Mr. President, there is no subsidy. You have saved 120 billion naira.
President Muhammadu Buhari, being honored by the farmers at this gala night, observes that as the nation celebrates its successes in the agricultural sector, the nation must not lose focus by ignoring other numerous challenges still facing the sector, promising that the federal government will not waver in the implementation of well-thought-out policy, such as the one on food security.
You all are the heroes of this revolution. Ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria is indeed on track for food self-sufficiency. We are creating more jobs, feeding our country, and reducing our import bill. Let me assure our investors, entrepreneurs, and bankers that our food security policy has come to stay.
Some notable stakeholders were also honored at the gala night. From the banquet hall of the State House, Jide Onifade, NT News.
Now, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has described as absurd and ridiculous the notion that the trader money is another form of vote buying. The Vice President said government was excited about the program as it's touching the lives of millions of Nigerians. State House correspondent again, Jide Onifade, reports that the Vice President spoke when he visited the Trader Money Command Center at the Bank of Industry building in Abuja.
Peter. Okay, because what I have here is that you registered on the 5th of December, that's December 5. So you are waiting for disbursement. Your money will be disbursed. It will be disbursed to you.
A brief chat with a prospective beneficiary who called in from Ilori, Kwara State for more information on the program. The Trader Money Initiative, as Vice President Yemi Osinbajo explains, is an important program of the federal government for petty traders to access soft loan. Testimonies from beneficiaries across the Federation indicate an effective response to banish poverty amongst Nigerians.
We now have an opportunity, a real opportunity, to reach out to a large number, millions literally, of petty traders in a systematic way, in a credible way, in a monitorable way, a way by which we can monitor and evaluate what's going on.
The Vice President responds this way to the notion in some quarters that the program is a form of vote buying.
If a program is duly approved by the National Assembly and we are going out and implementing that program and doing it as vigorously as possible, I mean, frankly, I mean, for me, I didn't even understand where anyone would get that kind of notion.
The visit to the command center was to further monitor the operation of the program by the Bank of Industry.
The idea is that the government wants to help people who have been having problems raising small capital to do a lot of small businesses. So the idea is that it is not your part of national cake. It is not money that you get and you don't pay back.
We've built a system where we work with different providers or stakeholders to make the program a reality.
This command center is our way of monitoring activity of the program across the country. Today we have 4,000 agents who wake up every morning going to the markets, capturing petty traders.
The projected fund for the program is 20 billion naira. In Abuja, Jide Olifade, NTA News.
Chairman of the Independent Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, has reiterated the commitment of the Commission to ensuring that every vote counts in the 2019 general elections. He was speaking at the Northern Traditional Council's 5th General Assembly held in Kaduna. Abdullahi Mohammed reports.
With the theme, Pervasive Insecurity in an Election Year, Prospect and Challenges, the traditional rulers, led by the Sultan of Sokoto, Saad Abubakar, expressed concern over the prevalence of thuggery and the unabating use of dangerous weapons to disrupt the conduct of elections.
I think there's a lot for us here to believe your credibility, believe your stand.
It is easy to manipulate the minds of our people, but let us remember that our responsibility as educated people is to actually provide guidance and leadership.
But we have introduced a new poster. It is called the EC60E. It's a large poster that we paste at the polling unit after votes have been sorted out and counted. We even have provision for party agents to sign. The good thing with the poster is that it has become like the people's result sheet.
Brigadier General Buba Marwa, who heads the Presidential Advisory Committee on Elimination of Drug Abuse, assured the traditional rulers of enduring approach towards tackling the menace of drug abuse. The meeting was attended by first-class traditional rulers across northern Nigeria. In Kaduna, Abdullah Muhammad, NTA News.
The Allied Progressives Movement has officially adopted President Muhammadu Buhari as the party's presidential candidate for the 2019 general elections. National Chairman of the party, Yusuf Mamman Dantale, made the declaration at the Ogun State APM campaign flag-off in Abeokuta. Lukman Adefeso reports.
The Allied People's Movement noted that it adopted President Muhammadu Buhari as its presidential candidate because of the various developmental projects embarked upon by the president, which no doubt has yielded desired result not only on the economy, but also redeemed Nigeria's image. The national chairman, APM Yusuf Mamman Dantale, and the governorship candidate of APM in Ogun State, Adekunle Akinlade, itemized some of the projects to include the fight against corruption, diversification policy, among others.
He is fighting corruption to a standstill, and some of his programs, like the promotion of local production of rice, has contributed immensely to the growth of our farmers in Ogun State.
60 political parties, led by the Ogun State Chairman, Inter-Party Advisory Committee, Abayomi Arabambi, were at the campaign flag-off to felicitate with Adekunle Akinlade.
President Muhammadu Buhari has appealed to stakeholders in the All Progressives Congress all over the country to work for genuine reconciliation of the nation and its people. In a statement by Senior Special Assistant to the President's Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, the President, who welcomed a group of APC members, including Professor Hafiz Abubakar, a former deputy governor of Kano State who returned to the party after their departure to various platforms, said the House was large enough to accommodate everyone and promised to speak to all concerned to accommodate and work with the returnees. The statement says in response to the president's directive, Governor Ganduje welcomed the party stalwarts and assured that he was ready to work with everyone to ensure victory in the general elections. The Buhari Media Organization says even with the wave of elections, President Muhammadu Buhari and his team remain undistracted and are committed to delivering governance, fulfilling its promises and ensuring that the lives of Nigerians are better. In a statement by the group's chairman, Niyi Akinsiju, the group noted that unlike previous administrations which during elections would suspend governance for money-sharing campaigns, President Buhari's administration has set a new standard by not losing focus. BMO states that with the president's anti-corruption stance resulting in curbing leakages and stealing of government funds, it foresees 2019 elections certainly not being a money-sharing jamboree, but a time for accountability. BMO advises all Nigerians to continue supporting the president as positive results are being seen across various sectors. Now let's join Lagos for more stories from that end. Ingano will guide us.
Thank you, Joseph, and welcome to Lagos. The Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, Dr. Boboye Oyeyemi, says the focus of 2018 Yuletide operation is to ensure free flow of vehicular movement and traffic management. He stated this while on tour of the Western Corridor to monitor the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway in a flag-off ceremony. Tunde Saike reports.
It is customary, especially during festive period, by management of the Federal Road Safety Corps to monitor and ensure free flow of vehicular movement and safety of lives on the roads nationwide. Corps Marshal Dr. Boboye Oyeyemi was at the Western Corridors, that is Lagos, to see the final level of preparedness of his personnel and other sister security agencies on how they are to ensure safety on the highways.
52 corridors, and Lagos is one of the critical corridors. Presently, Lagos accounts from the former Lagos end of the toll gate accounts for about 25,000 vehicular movement per hour. So this is the highest vehicular density corridor in the country, so I must pay special attention to it.
Dr. Boboye Oyeyemi added that since the focus this year is on management and free flow of vehicular traffic, road users must cooperate with the Federal Road Safety Corps to realize this, adding that traffic offenders will not go scot-free.
I'm pressed for maximum sentence. One, I'll get to have a suspended, and the second, I'll ban from driving for free because it's about accumulated fire points suspended. So I have to make these assistance. We need the support. The level of assault against our personnel is a bit high this year for them on 8. Some of them have died. So it's a painful thing.
High point of the monitoring was the control of traffic, periodic checks for drunk drivers, and distribution of road safety leaflets to motorists along Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
44 budding entrepreneurs have been empowered with business grants by the International Breweries Heroes Foundation Kickstart program. Chibuike Chiku reports that the event is a corporate social initiative of International Breweries PLC.
The program, which is part of the social investment initiative of the company, is aimed at empowering and supporting young entrepreneurs to develop their business ideas into sustainable businesses through the provision of material and financial support. Chairman of the foundation, Igwe Alfred Achebe, Obi of Onitsha, urged the awardees to use the business grants to create value for themselves and the society.
There are now over 100 young boys and girls. In 10 years' time, they're running big businesses, big companies. And the impact they'll have in their own local communities and on the economy of the country will be very, very impressive.
Anambra State Governor Willie Obiano, represented by his deputy, Dr. Nkem Okeke, thanked the Heroes Foundation for instilling the culture of entrepreneurship in the youths by empowering them with much-needed training and funds.
For the past 3 years, the Heroes Foundation has taken upon itself the mission to instill the culture of entrepreneurship in our youth, and by empowering them, with much needed training and funds to start up new businesses.
Some of the beneficiaries expressed gratitude to the foundation for the gesture.
So I will try as much as possible to make sure I make use of it in the business plan which I stipulated and submitted.
I'll make sure I make out heroes from this money.
The Kickstart program, which began in 2016 with youths residing in the 5 core southeastern states, has expanded to include budding entrepreneurs in Benue, Delta, Edo, and River States. In Onitsha, Chibike Chukwu, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. More reports ahead after this timeout. Please stay with us.
We are back in Abuja. Thanks for staying with us. The federal government has assured the 2019 budget will target job creation to bridge the existing gap. Minister of Budget and National Planning Udoma Udoma, while giving a breakdown of the budget, noted that the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, ERGP, which underpins government's economic recovery action, is the basis for medium-term fiscal strategy to achieve sustained economic growth, diversification and social inclusion. Details with Lie Katun Babatunde.
The 2019 budget, tagged Budget of Continuity, is one designed to consolidate on the gains of past budgets, precisely the 2017 and 2018, which helped put the economy back on the path of growth. In making the 2019 budget cycle perform optimally, Minister of Budget and National Planning Udoma Udoma says government has put in place key initiatives to improve federal government revenues for proper funding of the budgets.
As all the previous budgets, has been in providing the infrastructure and other support for the private sector. It is the private sector that is going to grow this economy. It is the private sector that is going to create the jobs. The government provides the enabling environment.
Allocations to ministries, departments, and agencies of government, Udoma says, were guided by the 3 core objectives of the ERGP: restoring and sustaining growth, investing in the Nigerian people, and building a globally competitive economy. 2.28 trillion naira is the allocation for capital spending, inclusive of capital in statutory transfers.
Money for constituency projects and the zonal intervention does not go to the individual senators or members. It goes to the different ministries, because a lot of people still think that the money for constituency project is given to the senators or members. It is not given.
The proposal shows that the 2019 to 2021 medium-term fiscal framework, medium-term sector strategies, and proposed 2019 budget reflect many of the reforms and initiatives in the ERGP.
There is a gap between what is planned for in the budget and what is actually generated. So we're doing all we can, and very soon we'll be releasing new revenue initiatives, which will include a new set of taxes and excise duties.
The expenditure framework indicates that the bulk of capital expenditure will go to the Ministry of Power Works and Housing to finance critical infrastructure. Overall budget deficit of 1.859 trillion naira in 2019 represents 1.33% of GDP. At 2.14 trillion naira, debt service is 24.24% of planned spending, while provisions to retire maturing bonds to local contractors decreased by 36.84% from 190 billion naira in the year 2018 to 120 billion naira. Personal cost accounts for 52% of non-debt recurrent planned spending. In Abuja, I'm Leah Kating, Babatunde, NTA News.
In another front, Governor Muhammad Abdullahi of Bauchi State has presented a budget proposal of more than 196 billion naira for 2019 fiscal year to Bauchi State House of Assembly. Mahmoud Ibn Mohammed says the appropriation is tagged Budget of Continuity.
With a capital expenditure of over 117 billion naira and recurrent of over 79 billion naira, the 2019 appropriation bill has held education, agriculture, youth and women empowerment as its priority area.
Sum of 125 billion, 534 million, 927,268 is estimated as recurrent revenue. This is made up of the following. 1. Internally generated revenue of 17 billion, 141 million, 580,525. And 2. Statutory allocation of 108 billion, 393 million, 346,743 naira, giving a total of 125 billion, 534 million, 927,268 naira.
However, according to Governor Muhammad Abubakar, all loans will be strictly used on capital projects. In Bauchi, Mohammed bin Mohammed, NTA News.
Let's pause here and join Port Harcourt. Hello, Vivian. What's trending from that end?
Hello, Joseph, and welcome to Port Harcourt. River State Governor Nyesom Wike has reiterated the need to support the Nigerian Legion and the armed forces in appreciation of their numerous contributions to. The governor was speaking during the 2019 Armed Forces Emblem launch and appeal fundraising in Port Harcourt. Oge Dinyekwe completes the report.
Armed Forces Emblem and Appeal Fund launch marks the beginning of the activities for the 2019 Armed Forces Remembrance Day, targeted at the widows and the dependents of the fallen heroes. The annual event is in honor of the contributions of the fallen heroes and veterans who fought the First and Second World Wars, the Nigerian Civil War, fight against insurgency and other peacekeeping operations across the globe.
To tell ourselves the bitter truth. This is the only period we talk about the sacrifices made by these fallen heroes who have laid down their lives for all of us.
Governor Wike said the nation owes huge debt of gratitude to this group of men and women who fought to defend the territorial integrity of the nation.
The last government million naira, and every local government will support you with 1 million naira.
Governor Wike expressed displeasure at the absence of service commanders at the event and disappointed with the crisis in the Rivers State branch of the Nigerian Legion.
So you are military men. You should be more disciplined than us.
High point the emblem decoration of the dignitaries at the event. In Port Harcourt, Oge Dinyekwe, NTA News.
Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Ibok Eteibas has commissioned 141 naval cadets at the passing out parade at the Naval College on River State. The report on this and the inauguration of facilities at the NNS Pathfinder also in the state.
The ceremony was ignited with captivating parade by the cadets who gave account of skills acquired during the 9 months training in their readiness to protect the nation's maritime. They were administered with the oath of allegiance and decorated by their parents. Representatives of governors of Bayelsa, Lagos, and Ondo states, as well as top military and paramilitary officers, graced the occasion.
Be mindful that you will be immediately saddled responsibilities that will test your mettle and challenge all your academic and professional training.
5 cadets bagged awards for outstanding performance. The Chief of Naval Staff also visited NNS Pathfinder to appraise the operational readiness of the force to threats, during which he inaugurated a remodeled Naval Medical Center and the Sea Lord Golf Course.
The year 2018, though challenging, has also seen some remarkable achievements by the various fleets of the Navy.
The Nigerian Naval College and the Basic Training School at the embarkation exercise in its host community ahead of the POP. From Onne, River State, Robinson Deratede, NTA News.
And that's our beat from Port Harcourt. It's back to you, Joseph.
Thank you, Vivian. Do stay with us here on NTN Network News. We're back in a jiffy.
This world is not my home, I'm just a passing through.
The Chikeze family of Umulewa Onitsha is in Nitai in Bise local government area of Imo State hereby announces the death of Mrs. Janet Okochuko Chikeze Ni Ibekwe, who died peacefully on Saturday 17th November 2018, age 61 years. Funeral arrangements. Burial is scheduled on Saturday 22nd December 2018 at her hometown in Umulewa Onitsha is in Nitai in Bise local government area of Imo State. She is survived by husband, Mr. Tony Chikeze, 2 sons, 3 daughters, 2 grandsons, 2 brothers and sisters-in-law, among whom is Mrs. Juliet Onyinye Chiezem of NTA Channel 5 Abuja. Family announcer.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's talk sports now. Ministry of Youth and Sports Development advised states to develop athletes discovered at the 19th National Sports Festival. As West Golf Tour underway in Abuja, Tamara Ibiwe has details on Sports Update.
The Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development has urged states to support the development of athletes discovered at the National Sports Festival for Nigeria's success in continental and world championships. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Olushade Adeshola, disclosed this, among other things, during a review of the festival, which held from 6 to 16 December in the Federal Capital Territory.
I want to enjoin the government of states to please extend appreciation to the effort of the athletes, irrespective of the categories of medals won.
Organizers of the just concluded Ministry of Interior Games say successes recorded in the Games will be improved upon before the 3rd edition in year 2020. Speaking on NTA Sports Breakfast Show, Chairman, Main Organizing Committee, Al-Hassan Yakmut, revealed that more ideas will be considered and incorporated when planning in order to promote the objectives of the Games.
We ensured that we kept a standard that is a benchmark of what has been done by successful event managers.
And in golf, season-ending championship of the West Africa Golf Tour enters the 3rd round Friday. The $50,000 sports prize tournament also sees 2017 West African Golf Tour FCT Classic champion Issa Nlareb returning to compete after a medical challenge, which saw his fingers and lips amputated.
Some caddies were weeping. Everybody was just ecstatic to find Issa Nlareb again on the tee box, getting to play golf.
The West Africa Golf Tour metamorphosed into the African Tour, with at least 16 tournaments scheduled for 2019. With sports updates, Tamara Ibiwe, NTA News.
The death has been announced of Major Dennis Maman Ndak, retired, one of the high chiefs of Ham Chiefdom in Kaduna State. Aged 81, Major Maman Ndak in his lifetime commanded different formations of the Nigerian Army and after service became Waklin Pope Ham. He was also known for his efforts to promote peace in southern Kaduna. He will be buried Friday, 21st December at his hometown in Kachia local government area of Kaduna State. He is survived by many relations, among who is architect Stephen Ndax of the National Directorate of Employment. And just before we go, let's take a quick look at the weather forecast.
It's a pleasure having you join us for Friday's weather forecast. Dust has been raised from the source region and it is expected to advance into the country, leaving the northern region in thick dust haze, thereby reducing horizontal visibility, which could lead to delay or cancellation of flights. Also, it is advisable for those living around that region to take necessary precautions while driving. The central and the inland cities are likely to experience dust haze in visibility range of 2 to 5 kilometers, with some cities as low as 1,000 meters, while partly cloudy to sunny skies are expected over the coastal region. For the maximum temperatures across some selected cities, do stand by.
And that's NTN Network News. Thanks so much indeed for being a part of it. From me, Joseph Johnson and the team, good night.